subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
Hello. In this video, we will discuss the novel Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, written by Mark Twain. Adventures of Huckleberry Finn was written by American author Mark Twain. The novel was published first in United Kingdom in December 1884 and then in the United States in February 1885. The novel is one of Mark Twain's best known and most important novels. The novel tells the story of Huckleberry Finn's escape from his alcoholic and abusive father and his adventurous journey down the Mississippi River together with the runaway slave Jim. The novel deals with difficult themes such as slavery and racism, society and hypocrisy, freedom and adventure. Let us now look at its main characters. Our first main character is Huckleberry Finn. He is a 13-year-old protagonist and the narrator of the novel. Then we have Pap Finn. He is the father of Huck, a drinker and abusive towards his son. Next is Judge Thatcher. Judge Thatcher is a noble person who fights for Huck's safety and well-being and also saves his money. Then we have Widow Douglas and Miss Watson. They are two elderly sisters who are Huck's guardians at the beginning of the novel until Pap kidnaps Huck. Then we have Tom Sawyer. He is Huck's friend who forms a band of robbers. Next is Jim. He is also Huck's friend and a runaway slave. Then we have the Duke and the Dauphin. They are two men who are rescued by Huck and Jim. Let us now look at the summary. Huckleberry Finn introduced himself as a character from the book The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. He has become rich from his lost adventure with Tom Sawyer when they found $12,000 in a cave. This money is taken away from them by Judge Thatcher, who invests it in a bank at 6% interest, so that each boy earns $1 a day on their money. Now Huck is currently living with Widow Douglas and her sister Miss Watson near the Mississippi River. Widow Douglas buys him new clothes and teaches him the Bible. Miss Watson threatens Huck that he will go to hell if he doesn't change his ways. Both the women try to civilize Huck, but he feels uncomfortable with these restrictions and runs away. Tom Sawyer goes after Huck and brings him back to the widow's house and promises him that they will start a band of robbers together. After Huck returns to widow's house, he again complains about the restrictions in the family. One night, Huck goes into his bedroom and kills a spider, which he considers a bad omen. Meanwhile, Huck hears a soft sound of cat coming outside of his window. Huck replies with a similar cat sound because he recognizes it as a signal from Tom Sawyer. Huck then jumps down through the window and meets his friend. As Huck and Tom pass through the kitchen, they find Jim sitting by the window. Jim is the slave of Miss Watson. Huck makes a noise when he suddenly falls and Jim comes out to look around the house. Huck and Tom hide themselves and Jim sits there to wait for the next sound to come. Meanwhile, Jim falls asleep and Tom takes Jim's head and hangs it on a tree. When Jim wakes, he believes that he has been bewitched and tells everyone that witches put a spell on him and took him all over the world. Tom and Huck then meet other town boys in a cave to form a gang of robbers. Tom gets this idea from books about pirates and robbers. The boys in the gang swear that if a member tells the gang's secrets, they will cut his throat and then kill that boy's family. Tom then explains to them their future business of robbery and murder. He tells them they will attack carriages and take the things inside. He orders his boys to kill the men and capture the women. After this meeting, they return home exhausted, and Huck, who has muddied up his new clothes, falls asleep. The next morning, Miss Watson scolds Huck for dirtying his clothes and forces him to pray. Meanwhile, Huck is told that his father, Pap Finn, has been found drowned in the river. But Huck does not believe it is Pap and worries that his violent father will show up again. The Tom Sawyer gang soon breaks up because the boys get bored of pretending they are robbing people, and their only adventure is when they wreck a Sunday school picnic. Huck continues to live with the widow. One day, Huck finds a suspicious footprint in the snow outside of the widow's house. He recognizes them as his father's footprints because of a cross carved in the heel. Now Huck is worried that his father Pap has returned. To protect the money from Pap, Huck goes to see Judge Thatcher and tries to persuade him to take the money for his own. Huck, who is still worried about the presence of his father, goes to Jim for advice. Jim takes out a hair and performs magic and tells Huck that his father Pap is surrounded by two angels, one black and one white, and he doesn't know which way Pap will decide to live his life. That night, Huck returns to his room and finds his Pap sitting there. Pap, who is dirty, scolds Huck for wearing good clothes and going to school. He then asks Huck to hand over the dollar that Judge Thatcher has paid him and then leaves the room to go drinking in the town. The next day, Pap harasses Judge Thatcher and asks him to give him Huck's money, but Judge Thatcher refuses. Judge Thatcher and the widow take a case to court in an attempt to get Huck legally placed with one of them. But the court judge is new to the town and refuses to separate Huck from his father. When Judge Thatcher realizes he cannot win, gives Huck some money, which Huck immediately turns over to Pap. Pap gets extremely drunk and causes trouble in the town and is placed in jail for a week. Pap continuously demands money from Huck. When Miss Watson tells Pap to leave her house, he kidnaps Huck and takes him 3 miles away and locks him there in a cabin. Huck tries to escape but fails. One day Pap goes to the town to sell a raft loaded with wood. But before leaving, he locks Huck inside the cabin. During his absence, Huck manages to escape from the cabin. He takes a canoe and reaches Jackson's Island. When Huck starts to explore the island, he finds Jim, who also has escaped from Miss Watson because she was going to sell him. They discover a cave on top of a hill in the middle of the island and drag their canoe into the cave in order to keep it dry. One night they discover a house floating downstream. Inside the house, Jim finds the dead body of Pap, but he instructs Huck not to look at his face, otherwise it will be a bad omen. Huck avoids dead body without knowing it is his Pap, starts to search the house and finds $8 in an overcoat. Huck tries to play a trick on Jim and places a dead rattlesnake at the foot of Jim's blanket. When Jim lies down to sleep, the snake's mate bites him. He uses Pep's whiskey to kill the pain of the snake bite. It takes him several days to recover from the snake bite. Now Huck decides to sneak in the town in order to find out what is happening there. Huck disguises himself in girl's clothes and talks to a woman who is new to the town. He learns that there is a $300 bounty for capturing Jim. Some of the townspeople believe that Jim killed Huck and ran away, while other people believe that Pap killed Huck. Huck immediately returns to the island and tells Jim to put their belongings in the canoe. Together they leave the island and row their boat down the river. They continue their voyage down the river. They notice a damaged steamboat. Although Jim wants to avoid it, but Huck wants to explore it. When they board on the steamboat, they hear voices of men, and Huck goes inside to investigate the voices and can see 2 robbers have tied up a man. When Huck comes back to inform Jim, their raft gets loose and floats away. Huck and Jim then take the skiff of robbers and leave the robbers with the captured man in the damaged steamboat. Before morning they recapture their raft again. Then they spend their time by discussing various things. Jim hopes they will reach Cairo at Illinois, where the Ohio River merges with Mississippi. But when they are about to reach at the juncture, a dense fog covers everything. The raft gets loose and starts floating downstream with Jim aboard. Huck jumps into canoe and follows Jim. They call each other in the fog, but then a large island separates them. Next morning, Huck manages to catch the raft and wakes up Jim, who is sleeping. While they are floating down the river, they are stopped by two white men who are searching for runaway slaves. When they ask Huck who is on the boat, he tells them his pa, mother, and sister are aboard. Huck tells them that no one is helping them to ashore, and the two men become suspicious that they have smallpox, and each man then gives them $20 coin. Huck befools the men and saves Jim from capture. Now Huck and Jim again separate when their raft is damaged by a steamboat. Huck is then caught between the Ganger force and the Shepherd's sons, the two families who are at war with each other. For over 30 years, the men in each family have been committed to killing off the men in the opposing family. Meanwhile, Miss Sophia from Ganger Force family elopes with Harvey Shepherd's son, and the feud is rekindled in full force. Many men are killed in both the families. Huck somehow manages to escape and is reunited with Jim. Both then continue their adventure down the river. While they are searching for berries, two men come running through woods and plead them for help. One man introduces himself king and another a duke. Huck and Jim treat them as loyalists. The king and the duke make plans to make money. The duke decides that they should perform short scenes from Shakespeare, and the king agrees. They land their raft below the town Pokeway. The duke enters a printing shop, and the king decides to attend the religious meeting in the town. The king begs there and collects $87. The duke has made money by taking orders from some farmers. The king sells Jim to the Phillips family for $40 when Duke and Huck are away. When Huck is informed about it, he thinks of his new move. Huck reaches Phillips' farm and goes directly to the main door. There he meets Aunt Sally, the aunt of Tom Sawyer. She recognizes Huck and takes him into the house. Then he meets Tom and tells him all about the Jim. After making plans to rescue Jim, both Huck and Tom goes to the hut where Jim is being kept imprisoned. Both the boys rescue Jim and is set free. When Huck asks Tom about his $6,000 and his pap, Tom replies that pap was never seen again since he disappeared. Jim then tells Huck that the dead man they found in the floating house was his pap. The novel ends when Huck announces that Aunt Sally wants to adopt him, which he doesn't like.